Hello everybody, we are here to present our latest innovation, the Boot Tracker mobile rental Android app that we've developed specifically for flea markets and on the Android platform, which is something that's really fast growing these days. We've developed this app keeping in mind several features and functionalities that are used by flea markets and try to make their process as simple as possible. So I've got a Samsung Tab 2 here with me, and I've got the app installed. This is the tablet we strongly recommend that you use. We've tested the application on this tablet, it works beautifully. But you also have the option to choose your own Android device. It could be a smartphone, it could be a tab. The choice is yours. That's really one good thing about developing this app on an Android platform. So I already have the app installed here, and I'm going to show you a short demonstration of this application. I select the app, and then it takes me straight to the login screen. And on this login screen, it asks me to put in my username and password. Now, one thing which is outstanding about this app is that this app works on a real-time basis. It uses the existing GPRS, 2G, Edge or 3G services that's available on your tablet or your cell phone, and it connects straight to the Boot Tracker database to get all of the information, to save all of the information. So there's really not a requirement for the user to synchronize at the beginning of the day or synchronize the tablet with the Boot Tracker database at the end of the day. You do work on a real-time basis, the information gets updated into Boot Tracker on a real-time basis. And if you notice here, I already have a username assigned for me in Boot Tracker, and I can use the same username to log in here. So if you have other users who have their logins created in Boot Tracker, they can also log into this app with their respective usernames and passwords. So once I log in, it takes me to the home screen where I have my check-in feature. I've got a module for payments where I can go ahead and collect payments from vendors who have outstanding balances. I also have a quick booth rental, so you can just walk around the flea market and find out vacant spaces and rent out those spaces on the spot, and that information again gets updated into Boot Tracker immediately. You also have the option to do quick other rentals. Any vendors wanting to rent out tables or any other rentals, you can do those rentals on the spot and on the go. So I'm going to start with the check-in feature. So I'm going to click on check-in, and it takes me to a screen where it asks me to enter the vendor ID. Now, if I just put in a vendor ID right here, I know for a fact that this vendor doesn't even exist in the market. And when I click on search, you will notice that the system gives me a message saying that this is not a valid vendor ID. Now, at the same time, if I go ahead and put in a vendor who is a valid vendor but doesn't have a booking for today, it brings up his information, and you will notice here it doesn't show any booking for that day. So when I don't see a booth number here, I know this guy doesn't really have a booking for today, and I really shouldn't be checking him in. So I've got all of the information here on the go. Again, I'm going to just put in a vendor ID here who has an active booking, and I click on search. And you will notice that the system brings up his ID, his name, the booths that he's in, and also the products that he's selling. So all I need to do is just click on check-in. The system will check him in. You got that message, and then the information is immediately updated into the Boot Tracker database. If at this point I were to go to my rental office, log into Boot Tracker, and I run my check-in report, I will be able to see that vendor checked in. So that's how quick, easy and intuitive this application is to use. So that's very simple functionality. Vendor check-in, you saw it was just a 3-step process. Select the vendor ID, you'll come to know whether he's got a booking or not, and then click on check-in and you're done. The second is the payments feature. Again, a very handy feature for flea markets to identify vendors who have an outstanding balance on their account, and they can just use this tablet and walk around the market, find out the vendors who have an outstanding balance and collect payments on the spot. We've developed this keeping in mind several aspects, and I'll go through it one by one. The first option is, if you do know the vendor ID, you can just directly key in the vendor ID and click on search, and it takes you straight to that vendor screen where it shows me the vendor ID, the name, the booths, and also shows me what his outstanding balance is. And I click on collect payment. So I can either collect a cash or a check payment. I'm not going to do that. But very easy way. If you know the vendor ID, you just put in the vendor ID right there. Click on search. It shows you his information and collect a payment. Now let's say, for example, I have a full list of vendors who have a balance on their account, and I need to just walk by the market and collect payments. So we've provided a very good lookup function. And when you click on lookup, the system automatically loads all the vendors who have a balance due on their account. And it shows the vendor ID, it shows the name, and also it shows the balance that they have on their account. So you can just start walking by and start collecting payments on all of these vendors. So very easy, simple to use application. And again, if you're looking for a specific vendor on this list, we've got a comprehensive search functionality here. You can either search based on the vendor ID, you could search based on the name, you could search based on the due. So let's say I'm looking for a vendor with the name Anderson. So I just put in Anderson, and there you go. It brings up this vendor with the balance on his account. So all I do is I just select that vendor, and it says, are you sure you want to view the details for this vendor? And I say yes. It takes me straight to the vendor screen, where it shows me the vendor ID, the name, and also shows me the outstanding balance. So I just click on payment, it takes me to the payment screen, it tells me what the total due is. So let's say I want to collect a payment of, the full amount. I can collect the full amount. The system also allows you to collect part payments, so you can put in a part payment. Let's say, in our case, let's say we want to take a part payment, so I put in $560, and I want to collect a check payment. It asks me to put in a check number, and I click on save payment. The moment I click on save payment, it takes me to the confirmation screen, which says that the payment was successful, and at this point the information is already written into your Boot Tracker database. So if you were to look at this vendor's account in Boot Tracker, you will see that we've just collected a payment on his account. So I just click on done, and it brings me back to the home screen where I can continue to collect payments from other vendors. Now if I want to collect payments from other vendors, and I want to search on their vendor ID, so I just put in the vendor ID here, and brings up the vendor right here on my screen. So I select the vendor. Again, the same process, very simple and easy to use. Shows me the details, shows me the outstanding balance. I select collect payment, and let's say I want to go with the entire amount, so it's $596.40. And let's say this time I want to go with a cash payment. I click on save, and the payment is collected. There you go. It shows me that he's got a zero balance on his account. So that's with the payments feature. Another very important functionality that is available on this app is the quick booth rental, which a lot of flea markets would prefer to use. Just walk around the market identifying free spaces on a day, and start renting out those booths. So when I click on quick booth rental, it takes me to the QBR screen. I have the option to enter a vendor name, which is purely optional. If you want to collect the vendor who's booking the booth, you can collect it, but if you want to do a quick rental, you can just ignore that and just proceed with the booking. Now, one of the new features that we've added to the system is it gives you the option to select a particular market day. I know that on the specific market day you're going to be walking around identifying vacant spaces, but you may also have a situation where a vendor comes in and says, hey, you know what, I probably might be renting out the same space tomorrow as well, and tomorrow also happens to be a market day. So you can always complete that booking right here on the spot. You don't have to again come in tomorrow and book that space again for the vendor. So you can select the market day for which you want to rent out a booth, and then proceed with the reservation. And another good feature that we provided is that you have the option to select a specific section of the market. So let's say you're walking through section 1, and you really don't want the system to list all the booths that are available. You only want the system to list all the available booths in section 1. So I can select a specific section and click on available booths. It takes me straight to the screen where it shows me only the available booths in section 1. So this is a really handy tool, because throughout the entire flea market you may have about 400 spaces that are vacant, but since you're just walking past section 1, you just want section 1's available booths to be listed. So very easy to sort and very easy for you to identify the vacant booths. Now again, if you see here, you've got the booth type, you've got the booth number, you've got the booth type, and you also have the charge for that booth. Now again, we've used one of the inbuilt features that's available in Android for the comprehensive search here. If you notice here, you just have one search box, but you can type in any search criteria. If you want to search by booth number, you could search. If you want to search by booth type, you could do that. You want to search by